Good day, everyone. I hope you're having a great week so far. Lots to talk about today, so let's get started with the fundamentals. By the way, when I analyze markets daily for my own trading, I always start with the fundamentals, then work my way to long-term technicals, and then work up to short-term trading action. So the pattern you see me use here is a good example of how you should begin analyzing markets on a daily basis as well. Two U.S. reports were released before the opening bell this morning. Neither of them had substantial influence on the U.S. market. The first report was the FHFA House Price Index, which for May advanced 0.7% after gaining 0.5% in April. The consensus forecast was 0.8% increase, so we fell a bit below expectations. The second report was the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, which came in at a negative 11, while the expectations were a positive 8, so that one was off quite a bit. As far as earnings, Apple will be releasing after the close today, and most traders are waiting to see what Apple will be coming out with. My main concern is the volatility that Apple can cause the rest of the market if something unexpected happens, especially in light of the fact that markets are quiet right now and are very easily moved by small share volume as compared to most other parts of the year, when volatility is substantially higher. I will update you if I see anything out of the ordinary from Apple this evening. The U.S. stock market did get a bit of support from increased optimism that China's government will provide stimulus if the Chinese economy starts slipping. Chinese Premier Li Qiang said that 7% is the bottom line GDP growth that Chinese government will tolerate, according to the report by Beijing News. Chinese second quarter GDP was recently reported at 7.5%, and the consensus is for growth near that level through the remainder of this year and into the next year. However, the markets have been afraid that the government may not take the action if GDP growth starts to fade below 7%, since the government is currently focused on trying to curb strong home prices and the shadow banking system. Since Chinese economy is the second biggest economy in the world, many financial markets are finding some support from this development. The price of oil was very volatile today as the market awaits the latest data on U.S. crude oil and gasoline supplies. The government's weekly report on America's inventories for crude is expected to show another decline in supplies. Falling supplies helped propel the price of oil to a 16-month high before the price dropped by $1.14 yesterday. A survey by Platts, the energy information arm of McGraw-Hill, shows analysts expect a decline in crude oil inventories of 2.6 million barrels for the week ending July 19th. That would bring the 4-week drop to nearly 30 million barrels. The American Petroleum Institute will release its report on oil stocks later tonight, while the report from the Energy Department's Information Administration, the market benchmark, will be released tomorrow, Wednesday. Technically, crude oil market opened lower and climbed upwards towards the end of the trading day. This is a very bullish technical pattern, especially during a strong uptrend. If we take out the high made today in tomorrow's trading, the odds are very high that crude will continue moving higher. With the fundamentals expecting to be very bullish as well, I think the odds are very high that this market is going to be moving higher. If you don't trade crude through futures contracts and want to trade stocks or ETFs that mirror this market, send me a quick email and I'll provide you with a few candidates that track this market very tightly. The U.S. stock market was extremely quiet today with very little volume coming into the market. This is fairly typical during this time of year, but very atypical considering the level the market is currently at. Generally, markets are very volatile when markets are at critical turning points or just broke out to a new high price. We are not seeing that here for now. The transports, however, are telling a very different story altogether. I think it's very important to see what they're doing because they tend to provide some clues as to the imminent future of the stock market as a whole. The sector sold off today and looks like it's going to head a bit lower tomorrow. If the technology sector continues to wait on the market, and remember, the technology sector is a huge part of the market, we may begin to slowly drift down in the US market as a whole. I'm watching for Apple's earnings to see if we can get the heartbeat started once again. But the way things are looking, the markets are going to be coming down if things continue as they are right now. The technical action I'm seeing in NASDAQ is suggesting downside volatility, so be prepared if Apple disappoints tonight. Technically, Apple is in a strong downtrend, and the resistance level is fairly well formed at this point. The stock is selling off and disappointing earnings are expected. If we come out below estimates, the target for Apple will be 410 level, and if we break that level, we will go down to the 390 level very quickly. There's nothing stopping us between the 410 and the 390 level. The Australian dollar looks similar to how gold looked about a week ago. The bullish triangle pattern looks like it's setting up for a small breakout to the upside. The positive news in China could very well cause a good move up in the Aussie. If we do break the triangle and everything is pointing that way, expect a move to the 0.95 to the 0.95.5 area within a few days. Looking at the setups for tomorrow morning, we have a 4x4 long entry on Analog Devices, ticker ADI. A tail gap setup to the long side as well on Annixter International, ticker symbol AXE. There are two inside day long setups. One is on GLED Science, ticker symbol GILD, and the other one is Rockwell Collins, ticker symbol COL. That's it for today's video. Have a great night, everyone, and I will update you tomorrow morning as usual. If something with Apple occurs, I will update you as soon as that happens.